Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay, the number one source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay. We've got a much better show for you guys today than usual, I hope. Anyways, we're going to talk a lot more about Runeterra and less about our random life exploits and other games. I did just get back from San Diego, though, so that was a lot of fun, and I'm hyped. I'm hyped to be here. And we've got the first ever Runeterra Open, I guess is what we're calling them, right? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow, as of this recording, which hopefully it gets out, try to get it out for you guys quickly so that it actually comes out before the Runeterra Open. This is a historic moment. This is big. Seasonals are gone, which is a little sad. It's a little sad to be.
I like these more than seasonals.
I like these more than seasonals too. But what I'm saying is, like in the future, the one you don't like the one.
When we have day 2 and a winner,
yes,
I will like those more than seasonals. Yeah.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, for whatever reason, we're in the beta. So we're just doing the 1 day. They're kind of testing stuff out. After the beta, these every month are going to be a 2-day event where day 1 you have to get a certain record. I think 8-3, like 8 wins before 3 losses. Is that right?
8 wins before 3 loses. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you hit 3 losses, you're out. If you hit 8 wins, you are on to day 2, and then it'll be single elimination again. As far as we understand, just like the Top Cut was from seasonals. The reason I say it was kind of sad is because, like, you know, it's going to be a couple years down the road, and people are like, Majin Bay, are you even good? Are you competitive? Like, yo, I want seasonals. Like, what's that?
What's that, bro?
Okay, Grandpa.
It's like a super open. Well, you just tell them it's like the world's qualifying open or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's what it was, basically.
Except different, because everyone gets to play in these.
Yeah, the Masters players are going to be the people who win.
Yeah, but getting through to day 2 is going to be a lot easier.
Likely.
I got it mad for sure. Let's see, because you needed, in my case, because I basically never had tiebreakers, I had to go 8 wins before I got 2 losses. Mm-hmm. I had to go 8-1, which is the majority of people that didn't have tiebreakers. Whereas now I have to go 8-2.
Yes.
Like I went 7-2 a bunch of times. It's easy. And there'll likely be much so many more people. Yeah, instead of like the top 700 masters plus Scotland people, it's gonna be everyone.
Anyone who wants to play.
Yeah, which it's gonna be interesting. And then also, like, you know, because it's set up differently, you can start at any time now. Yeah. Whereas before it was on a scale and it was Swiss. So if you were 7-1, you would play someone that was 7-1. Whereas now you could be 7-1, you could play against someone that's 0-0. Or you can play against someone that's like 2-0-2.
I believe it starts in 16 hours from right now. It's 10:30 a.m. on Friday, Pacific. So, was that 2 a.m.?
I think so, yeah. Because 12 hours later would be 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Then
4. And then 4 more?
Wait, no, 16. So 4. No, 12. 12 plus 4. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we did it. 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Yeah,
we can do math. We can do math.
I hope we got that right. I think we did. Starts at 2 a.m. Pacific. So that's
maybe 3, because we are 30 minutes through.
We are 30. Yeah, let's maybe 3.
Sometime very early in the morning is when it starts.
Probably 3. I'm going to go with 3. So we'll say probably 6 a.m. Eastern. Mm-hmm. And then how long does it stay open for, the window? Because
I don't know. It doesn't say, but probably a long time.
Problem. I would imagine a long time. This has been a problem in these events in Magic, where people have been like, you know, whatever. Say you're 7 wins, however many losses. You're still in, though. And you just need to win 1 more match, but there's just no one left at the end.
Oh, really?
That's happened in Magic. So I'm not sure what they kind of did to fix that or anything. But yeah, someone waited like an hour at the end and just like couldn't get it matched. Something crazy like that. Maybe half hour.
I feel like people
it was
would
a while.
Trying.
Well, because eventually you just run out of people.
That's true. No one knew was going to jump in. I think he just got astronomically unlucky.
I think. Well, the Magic one you had to qualify for, so it was a lot. The pool was much smaller, whereas this one, there's gonna be people just joining at the end, just being like, I don't really know what's going on.
I just want to play the game. Yeah.
Yeah, this seems interesting, and like maybe there's 1 hour or 2 hours left in it, and there's 0-0, and like they have no chance. But then like you're sitting there at like 7-1, and you're like, sweet. Yeah, let's get some because that's also been something that people talked about in Magic is like, do you play at the beginning when there's a bunch of people still live? The pool is really large, but a lot of the best players are also kind of playing then. Or do you wait until way later where one, though, all the bad players are probably kind of like gone, but two, a lot of the like all the hardcore grinders we're getting up and we're getting after it. Like we want to play already. We're not waiting. So maybe they're gone too, and then later on it's kind of like just like a mixed bag of like whoever's left, and because there's definitely is some strategy around that, around when you play. Like you want to avoid those Australian players. Maybe you play at a certain time zone, or the Brazilians perhaps. So yeah, that's gonna be
always been stuff like that. I remember people talking about it all the time. Yeah. I always just kind of ignore it. I'm always just like, I'm gonna play whenever I want, and I'm just gonna beat whoever's in front of me. Like, not worry about it.
Which is kind of the way to do it. But let's say it definitely is a thing, and we've seen it in Runeterra, where like remember when ladder climbing was like everyone in the know used to know that after 2 a.m. it was the free LP because all the quote unquote good players were sleeping, and then you just had casual people from around the world that like
drunk people.
Yeah, drunk people just hanging out, just doing whatever. And that used to, for a long time, that was like the big secret for climbing the ladder was you do it after 2 a.m. You just crush people. You got people playing like all kinds of stuff. You'd be like top 20 on the ladder, and you play people in diamond and stuff. It was like pretty common. So it's definitely gamer's gonna game. Is all I'm saying. It's gonna be. What do you? I want to get your thoughts. We're gonna move into also, some specific talks on like, what decks to bring, lineups, what you think is popular. But before we get to that, what are you expecting in terms of like competition? What do you think it's gonna look like? Is it gonna be like Wild Wild West, or is it gonna be, a little bit more like actually people that are with it and know what's up and like bringing like top tier decks?
I think the average is gonna be the first 3 rounds of a seasonal tournament
where you just never know.
Yeah, you could play against 4LW, or you could play against this guy who spiked Gauntlet and hasn't crafted a new champion in 6 months. Like you never know. But like I think it'll be slightly higher than people think.
It's
maybe
getting
not
better.
It's
over time. Yeah, the competition level.
I think it's going to be obviously easier than a seasonals. Like way easier than a seasonals, but I don't think it's going to be like super incredibly free. Not all your games. You're going to play against the people who know what's up. The people who are more invested and are better are more inclined to play. It's just how these things work, right? So that's going to be a bit weighted towards that end of the scale. But I think you're going to get a lot of just random people jumping in, not even finishing their runs, right? Just playing like a few. And
so if we could pivot at the end there, it's going to be interesting. But keep going.
So if we could pivot into decks, I think you should bring and strategies.
Okay, wait. So I wanted to start with though. So I don't know if anyone knows this, but I weirdly haven't played any games of Runeterra still.
Ever.
From forever. Literally never once in my entire life. So I was thinking though, you know what? I might nice mug by the way. Shout out Wisdom. They do good work. I was thinking though, like I want to play tomorrow just to get the experience and to see what's up. And now that it's an all day thing, and I don't have to I'm not stuck at my computer all day. Oh my god, do I love that? Oof. Yeah, looking forward to that. I think everyone's
streaming it so much easier.
Oh yeah,
because I don't have to finish my match and go, I guess I'll sit here for 40 minutes.
Oh god, yeah, you just jump right back in. And then also the streamers can, instead of, because there's only so many viewers on Twitch for Legends of Runeterra. Now everyone can kind of just stream at their normal times, and people can still find them at their normal times. Their community can still find them. They're not all fighting for people like it was before. I think that's going to be really nice for all of you guys as well. Heck, I might even start streaming them at some point because I can just do whatever I want and I can just boop, 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 like you're saying, just go right through it. And it's like, I don't know, it's not as big of a deal, especially the not Worlds qualifier ones like this one. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, so for someone like me who has been, let's say, out of the game for a little while, hasn't played this meta and whatever, what are like 3 powerful and like somewhat straightforward, easy decks to play? I'm talking things like Plunder.
Plunder's very good. Still good. Yeah, Plunder's good. I think a big mistake people are going to make is bringing Orange Jax, which was like pretty good for like a day. It was the hotness for like a day. It was like the first hotness.
Yeah.
Right? But like people are going to be bringing Rise, and the new hotness is Broadmain decks. And Broadmain decks kick Jax Orange decks in the teeth. So I'll try to avoid that.
But can you just ban it?
No, because you can bring 9 Broadmains.
Oh, they're bringing 9 Broadmains. Okay.
People are, yeah, and like I don't know. I think Plunder's a really good pick. I think like Nora Broadmain is a totally fine deck. I think the Tristana decks are totally fine. Like the Tristana Shadow Owls deck, I think is quite good. And it's pretty easy one to play. So I'd say like Plunder, Tristana Shadow Owls, and then literally anything you're comfortable with for the third one. Anything you can play to like some degree of not badness. Yeah. That's
okay,
a better word.
What's I like not badness. That works. Yeah. What makes the Tristana Shadow Owls deck good?
Efficient. You have some tools against like control decks. So you have like I don't know what his actual name. I call him Grandpappy, the 1/2 that makes that Hungry Owlcat and then gives it +1. You have Grandpappy, you have Mayor. Tristana's kind of big, and then you have like a full suite of Vengeances. You run like 3 copies of Aloof Travelers, and then you have Atrocities up top. So like you could go toe to toe with these like more controlling decks. And then against the aggressive decks, you have a lot of really good removal. You have like Group Shots and Quietus, and Tristana's Buster Shot. But then you also, with things like Grandpappy and Mayor, you go wide so fast that you're able to like stabilize early. And so the deck's just solid. It's just a solid deck. Tristana got Impact now. That was her little buff, and it just kind of works out.
Which is kind of what that deck has always kind of done, right? It was like grind hard. It could be aggressive. You throw in some top end finishers, and like, yeah, you got yourself a nice little deck.
It's exactly what it does.
What are you looking at bringing, and why?
So, I'm probably going to look to bring it's going to be at least one Ionia deck. It's going to be Rise or it's going to be Karma Yi. Because
only
I like
one
those.
Is actually played Shocker.
It might be both. At least one. So it's either going to be Rise or Karma Yi, or Rise and Karma Yi. And then the other deck is going to be likely Annie Katarina with Broadmain, the Tibulk deck, because I like it. And then if I only bring one Ionia deck, the other deck is going to be the Nora Broadmain deck, the Bandle City one. The reason I don't want to bring double Ionia is because like sometimes you just get rolled, right? Like sometimes you just walk into like Pirates, Fearsomes, Anijin, and you're like, and then like you don't hit Delves early enough and you explode. Sometimes that happens.
How is that lineup also? Like triple aggro right now?
The problem is like Broadmain decks just like eat you.
Oh.
Because you have like Nora spitting out random blockers. They play like House Spiders. They have all the efficient removal, right? I don't like it. People will play it. It's fine, I guess.
What is triple Broadmain deck's weakness?
Rise, but that's bannable. So decks that can go over the top, because like especially the Nora Broadmain variant, it's kind of looking to like run your opponent completely out of threats. So sometimes you'll just deck out your opponent.
Oh wow!
Deck. Yeah,
that's wild.
And so like decks that can't be decked out because what they do is like better than you. You know what I mean? Like, so I imagine like Deep would probably be okay. But I'm thinking like Rise is pretty incredible. I like to play Karma Yi into it because if you play correctly, they can't deck you. You just have never-ending go-hards and stuff like that. Never-ending karmas. And then I have my Annie Katarina like specially teched. So I have like 2 Evil Imposters. I think that's what it's called. Evil Imperfectionist. Evil K.
What's it do?
The one that like Quinn's not happy about something. You pick a card in your hand, and it shuffles 5 copies into your deck, but they cost 1 less.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just Evil K something. No, Evil K, like, just burn, right? If it gets to that point of the game, I'll just Evil K burn. If I have the opportunity to, I'll Evil K Tibok, right? And, like, now you can't. Now my threat density is, like, too high.
Yeah.
And I like doing that. But, yeah, the deck's good. So anything that can, like, go way over the top. I don't think Feel the Rush actually beats it.
But people think it does.
Yeah, I mean, it might. I'm not sure. Like,
I'm not sure if you've ever agreed that Feel the Rush has actually ever beaten anything ever.
Yeah. There's a couple decks that, like, well, usually because it's like the flock piles. It's supposed to destroy the flock piles. This is a flock pile. But you don't have a lot of threats. Now, you can stop the Feel the Rush. Easy peasy, because you have, like, Broadmain and stuff, right? She Who Wanders is like a house, though.
Yeah.
Now, you run 3 aloofs, so that's the thing. It's like, it probably should be like this, like 80-20, but it's probably like 50-50 at the worst for the Broadmain deck. So I'm not a big fan of Feel the Rush. Plus, I think a lot of people are going to be Rise. It's the most played deck right now. And you are not winning that matchup.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. Meta sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like it's like
it's
really,
actually super sick.
Yeah, is it it's like it sounds like a little grindy. Like if you're decking people out and stuff, like those are some crazy games. Like I haven't really seen that before.
People are upset right now. I see on Twitter and Reddit, people are like, "Oh my god, control's not viable."
On Twitter and Riot?
Insane.
No.
Yeah, insane. People are like, "Bro, control's not viable." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, there's a deck literally decking people out.
Yeah.
By controlling too hard, and you're saying it's like one of the highest win rate decks. So you're saying control's not viable. What are you talking about?
I feel so bad for Riot sometimes when they're like, "Hey guys, what do you think about the game?" And they'll like be like, "Control's not viable. All these damn aggro decks." And literally the next message will be like, "Aggro's not viable. These damn control decks." And like someone will be like, "Fuck combo." Like,
yep.
Everything's too mid range. It's too fast. It's too slow. Everyone has their own shit opinion. I mean, we do too. But more pink decks. Let's go.
I think the biggest problem in the meta is Rise.
Yeah.
Now I think he's gonna be fine in a tournament setting because if your lineup's like weak to Rise, you just ban him. But like I hated the way they buffed him.
Right?
It's yeah. I don't like the way they buffed him. I said this when they announced it. I was like, this is not going to be okay. You're going to make Rise even more like polarized than he was before, which is not, in my opinion, the right way to do this. And that's kind of what we're seeing. Like Rise just has so many matchups that he just cannot lose. Like you're never losing to Feel the Rush. You're never losing to Anivia. People are playing Anivia for some reason.
I love that Anivia has never once really been good. I don't think.
Apparently in beta, it was really good.
Well, we didn't play in beta, and that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Like, you count when seasonal started, and it's ever. I love Anivia. I think it's fun and cool, and I play lots of Anivia. But like, if we're being objective here, it's always been like fringe playable to shit.
Yeah.
Like
just worse Feel the Rush. It's always been worse Feel the Rush.
I'm sure there's definitely been times where it's been better, and there's some matchups where like you can't lose because you're doing a certain thing, but like into a field, it's never been particularly strong. I love it though. It's like one day it'll have its time.
One aside, if you are planning on playing a Shadow Isles forward control deck, like Feel the Rush or Anivia, I recommend you play 1 copy of Ledros.
Yeah,
because that should help your Broadmain problems.
Helps a lot of things. One of mine is a huge advocate of one Ledros in those decks.
Mm-hmm. I do think that you
for it.
Yep, I do think that you need like the She Who Wanders though. I think like 3 She Who Wanders is just so insane. One of mine's a big fan of the control version of FTR, not the ramp version, and I think the deck is like not good enough as a control deck. Because like the ramp one just wins games for free, and the control deck has to work very, very hard to do a thing that's like kind of good and win games. There's so many times where like I go, oh, okay, my opponent has 12 mana. They cast Feel the Rush, they lose the game. Like, but if they have She Who Wanders, it's a real game.
What decks do you play now? Because like a lot, like pink decks are notoriously good into
pink decks, flock decks, right? Bunch of spell decks. So
Yeah, I feel like, back to your point about those decks versus flock decks, I think it was like, in theory, you don't really have any dudes that flock hits, so like you should be good against them. But like you're still like this weird clunky deck that's playing like 12 drops and 10 drops, and like the flock decks are very efficient. And so when you spend your whole turn doing one thing and they can do like 4 things, they can just like
just lose,
you just wait for your moments. If you're kind of an idiot, you just run all your units into their avalanches and blighted ravines and right into their removal. Like, yeah, okay, you're probably gonna lose that game.
I do think that one thing the ramp version does that the control version doesn't, or the control version does that the ramp version doesn't, is the control deck misses a lot. So like you sit there, you control the game, it's turn 8, what are you doing? Nothing.
Nothing.
It's turn 9, what are you doing? Nothing. You got 3 harsh winds though. Like,
yeah,
you got a bunch of like dinky dookie ass removal and like nothing to do. And your opponent has no threats. All you need is like something to try to end the game, and you just can't find it because you only play like 1 Ledros, a couple Trundles in your Field Rush, and that's it. And the ramp version, like, once it gets there, right? Like, it's just big ass thing. And yeah, do I want to play either version? No. I would rather play the control version, but I think it's just worse.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, what else we got? Sorry guys, we started this a little bit late because we were chatting as per usual, and I need to run. But okay, wrap it up. Let's give people some, the standard tips for playing a tournament.
Actionable advice.
Yes.
I think because of the way these opens work, where anyone can play, I think you should take decks that have the lowest like fail rate. I think you should take decks that are good into random stuff. Like evac decks that are just strong and evac.
Consistent and strong. Yep. Like Red Gwen?
Yeah, like Red Gwen. I think the Broadbane decks are just like always pretty good. Yeah. Right? Like they're just
proactive,
always solid,
strong,
mid-rangey. It's Jund. Like I want to play Jund into a field of draft chaff all day. Yeah. Ad nauseum loses to draft chaff sometimes. Jund doesn't. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want.
So basically, what we're saying is like keep it simple, stupid. Like the old KISS fucking stupid method. Just do something powerful and like don't break your brain trying to like out meta people and like outplay.
You don't gotta out meta anybody.
You're gonna play against just the wildest, craziest stuff you could imagine, and you're gonna be trying to target Rise or something, and you're just gonna run face first into like some bullshit. So just come with a freaking hammer and hit people over the head with it and dare them to be better than you. Because you got 2 losses you can give. Like you got some, if someone happens to have your number, it's okay. Yep. Just go on to the next one.
I was against targeting things in the open rounds of seasonals. I'm way against targeting anything in these.
Oh god, you can't even do it.
You shouldn't even think about it.
No. The amount of lineups you're gonna see is like
insane.
Wild. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the amount of different decks is gonna be absolutely crazy. And also play decks that you know how to play well. Don't lose because you made a mistake or you just didn't understand how the matchup worked. Those are rough. I want to see like Trinithan do well with like triple aggro or something. Even though he's been on like
Rise.
Ionia Rise. The triple aggro probably finally okay now that like you could just play it into just a bunch of nonsense from a bunch of people, and now he's playing Rise. We'll see what he brings. Yeah, fair enough. And then also, make sure you get enough sleep. All that good stuff. Because you don't have to start. Yeah. Take a break. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Really be in tune with your kind of like mental and physical health, because that's a lot of matches. You're going to be sitting at your computer for a while. So get up, walk around, stretch, make sure you eat. Make sure you're not like hungry or you're crashing, or if you're drinking coffee, you're not like kind of crashing too much. Try to like keep yourself, nice and even keel. If you take a hard loss, don't tilt. Don't tilt.
Q.
If anything,
get up.
If anything, even if you think you're totally fine, if you take a loss, go sit down for 5 minutes. Just 5 fucking minutes. Go get away from the computer. Go sit somewhere else.
Go pet your dog.
Yeah, take some breaths, pet your dog, pet some fucking grass, have a glass of water. Take some breaths. Think about what you could have maybe done better. Think about how you're going to, keep doing your same game plan going into the next one. Everything's fine. Don't shake it off and then go. Give yourself a little bit of time.
This makes me sound like such a loser. I find that going outside is like such a hard reset for me for some reason.
It totally is.
I could go sit on my couch and that's a break. But when I when I go outside, when I leave the house, my brain like separates like before after. You know what I mean? So if it's really bad,
you flip the page and it's like a new chapter.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll go walk down. We have a grocery store that's like 1,000 feet away, and I'll just go walk down there.
Yeah.
Maybe buy an energy drink, and then sip it on the way back, and that's like the best like separation that I can get.
Yeah. When I took a loss in seasonals, I would go sit in my backyard, get some sunshine, breathe some fresh air, kind of reset, because it affects you. Trust me, it affects you. Ooh, and then the opposite is also true. I should have top cut like the first seasonals. I was 5-0, and I got overconfident, and I was up a game, and in my 6th round, and I just made like one play too fast, and it cost me that game, and then it cost me that match, and then like I had one less win. So if you're on a roll winning
fast,
if you're on, I just clicked OK because I was like, I got this. I was playing against Nightfall, and I played a unit when I just shouldn't.
I remember that. Nothing.
Yeah. And so it's very easy to get overconfident also, especially like in one of these where like, anyone can play. You're probably just going to like Donkey Kong some people, but you don't want to be giving up any free games, let alone free matches. And like that can really like snowball away from you. So, try to keep in the zone as much as possible is what we're trying to get at here. Yeah, I think that's about it. Get lots of sleep, drink lots of water.
Yeah. If you're confident in your ability to play it, I think 4OW's Shelf Oak deck is very well positioned right now.
Yeah, I enjoyed that clip of you.
Pranking the prank.
Pranking the prank, and then losing.
And then losing.
And then why could you not prank it again?
Because it hit 13 mana.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's so
and then
funny.
I took a Make It Rain off the top of the deck to try to kill my opponent's blocker and missed.
Yeah, you missed it. Yeah. That's hilarious. Okay. All right. That's going to be it for us today. I'm looking forward to next week where we could do like a post-mortem on how this went. I'm looking forward to all the other awesome stuff that's coming down the pipe from Riot. But that's going to be it for us for today, guys. Take it easy. We'll see you next week.